A $300 to $700 keyboard sounds insane. We know. How can a keyboard cost that much? Well, in this video, we'll be talking a bit about the design and manufacturing process of this keyboard, the Dygma Raise 2, where we are now in production, and hopefully by the end of the video, you'll have a clearer understanding of what it takes to make a keyboard just like this. Hello Digmates, I'm Dominique, and let's first start with the electronics. The Dygma Raise 2 comprises not one, not two, but 7 PCBs. 3 on each side and 1 for the Neuron. Since it's a split keyboard, it's like making 2 keyboards in one. Each half has the key scanner PCB, which has these switch sockets for each switch, obviously, and the RGBW LEDs. Then an RP2040 microchip on each side. The microchips are like the central functioning units of any highly specialized component. Then we have the RF gateway PCB for the wireless functionality. Because of these bad boys, the Raise 2 can be connected either via RF or radio frequency, Bluetooth, and cables. For the RF gateway, we use the Nordic NRF 52820 microchip on each side. Next is the Underglow LED PCB, which we don't have in the OG Raise, and I'll talk about that later in the video. And finally, we have the Neuron, which is the brain of the keyboard. This one has the Nordic NRF 52833. The Raise 2 uses the same chips as the Dygma Defy. However, since its shape is completely different, getting the right PCB design has actually taken us 7 months. Now let's talk about the unique body of the Raise 2. Some of you might actually be wondering why it has this shape. First off, it's a 60% keyboard, which means that there are no keys above the number row, no number pad, and no arrow keys. But this doesn't mean that there are no F keys, arrow keys, and whatnot. This keyboard is fully programmable, so those keys are just in different layers. We've explained all of this in our other videos, so if this is something new to you, I recommend you check those out. But the main point of having it 60% is so that you can have all of your keys, all of your shortcuts, combos, macros easily accessible without needing to leave the home row. Second, we have these palm rests, which are a key element in any ergonomic keyboard. And just a little trivia, if you're wondering why this little bit on the sides stick out, well, it's basically to accommodate gamers since they normally use the keyboard 1 unit to the left, like this. The body of this keyboard is made of, first, the aluminum top panel. This is created by metal stamping. Then they're anodized and brushed to ensure it's very high quality. Then we have the base, which is made of acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, or ABS. The base of the Raise 2 is completely different from the OG Raise. Since there are more PCBs in here and we no longer have the light pipes, which was used in the OG Raise to distribute the light for the underglow. So we had to completely redesign the space inside to be able to fit all the PCBs and the tenting and reverse tilting legs. These babies are integrated into the base. The legs are made of aluminum and the rods are made of plastic, and the tips have an anti-slip rubber. The design process of the legs has been by far the hardest. Since the right side is wider than the left, getting the right distance for the angle selector to ensure both sides have the same tenting degree has taken hundreds of trials and errors. But these components weren't the only difficult ones. The palm pads also gave us sleepless nights. Because its shape is so unique, finding the right material for its texture and firmness has always been very difficult. We've improved them quite a lot, made them softer and magnetic. They have an outer layer of synthetic leather. Inside it has a silicone gel. It also has a rigid plastic piece that holds the magnets in position. Finally, at the bottom, there's an anti-slip black plastic made of polyurethane casting resin. And last but not least, the keycaps. There are numerous profiles to choose from: DSA, Cherry, SA, XDA, etc. But we decided to go for a profile that not only suits the aesthetics of the keyboard, but one that allowed us to offer double-shot PVT, and they are OEM. So on the Raise 2, English US and English UK keycaps will be double-shot PVT. For special languages such as Spanish, German, Nordic, French, and Dash keycaps, we previously made them from laser-etched ABS. However, ABS keycaps have proven to be a bit brittle, especially in the thumb keys. They would sometimes break when removing them or if you would accidentally pull them incorrectly. To fix this, we tried adding polycarbonate or PC to the mix to make them more flexible. And after some testing in our factories, we thought, why not have it all made from polycarbonate? Polycarbonate has exceptional impact resistance, it's more flexible, and allows more light to shine through. They're more expensive to make, but they're way better than ABS. Okay, great. So with all this information, when will the Raise 2 be ready for shipping? We've already finished the DFM, or the designs for manufacturing, for each of the components. And on the electronic side, we've also already passed the CE certification. Yay! Which is the standard certification with the European Health, Safety, and Environmental Protection Standards. So now that the Chinese New Year is over, happy Year of the Dragon, we are kicking off the Design Validation Test, or DVT. This means that we're creating the molds needed to create each component. We're getting samples from our suppliers, making the necessary adjustments, and finally, we will make a small run of 50 keyboards to validate that everything fits together nicely, perfectly, forever and ever. We have already received and validated the samples for the black palm pads, and we're now making the white ones. The DVT process is going to take until May. Afterwards, we'll kick off mass production with the goal of shipping to customers in October. If you're interested in getting this keyboard, the pre-sale will start on March 26th. However, you can already pre-reserve your Raise 2 just for $5. With that, you get a free add-on, which includes wireless, tenting, or underglow, free shipping, and you can save in total more than $200. The Raise 2 is unlike any other keyboard. Actually, there's nothing in the market like it. It requires us to work closely with our suppliers and pay attention to every little detail. Fortunately, we have a ton of experience from creating the OG Raise and the Defy. You can guarantee that we're determined that the Raise 2 meets your expectations as well as ours. Thanks for watching, guys, and as we end the video, I just want to give a big shout out to our most loyal subscribers. See you in the next one!